Hey, you're a hot little piece of ass. All right, so a couple of years ago, 4 or so years ago now, I wrote this article on how to take the lead without being controlling. And really, you can think of this as just an article on how to take the lead, how to be a more dominant man. And I wanted to update it for modern times, 4 or so years later, some of the things that I've learned over the last couple of years of how to take the lead with a woman. We're going to talk about in the bedroom. We're going to talk about maybe out of the bedroom as well. But really, like leadership, or I guess you would say you going first or initiating, is something that a lot of you guys care about, but you're a little bit confused. You're like, how do I do it? What if she says no? What if she rejects me? Do I just sort of like charge in there and steamroll over the top of her and just like tell her what's going to happen and don't give a fuck if she says yes or no? I just fucking say, like, hey, listen, bitch, this is what we're going to do. That's sort of like the hyper masculine, almost like machismo, like macho view of like being an alpha male who just does whatever the fuck he wants and doesn't care and has no empathy. A lot of you have no interest in that. A lot of you are really nice guys, just like me. You're nice boys, and you want to know how to take the lead a little bit more, be a little bit more assertive, but still leave room for her to have, space to say yes or no. And so, going back to this article that I wrote years ago, here was the 3 step formula that I basically listed all the way back then. I said, number one, take the lead by starting the conversation. So you basically say, this is what I want, or here's what I'm looking for. And then you ask for her input. You say something like, how does that feel for you? Is that something you want? What do you want? Like, you basically get her input and then you make the final decision, you together. And so, really, like the cheat code that I can give you here is just use your words. Like, a lot of people think taking the lead means you have to like do something, like you have to just get in there and kiss her, or you have to like make a move, or you have to like put her in position, like in the bedroom. You have to just like do it. And like that can be part of it, but I've always found that it's easier to just use my fucking words and say, this is what I want. Do you want the same thing? Here's what I'm thinking. Does that suit you? Or this is my dating style. Does that work for you? Like on the dating apps, I literally just say, here's what I'm looking for. Do you want that? This is the messages, or these are the messages that I sent on Hinge. So have a look at the very first message on the left hand side at the top. I say, hey, I love your energy. You're very attractive too. I'm Andy. I'm looking for something specific on here. And I say, do you have experience with BDSM, or is it something you'd like to explore? So I'm saying, this is what I want. Do you want the same thing? And if girls say, no, thank you, I'm not interested in that, or no, thank you, I don't think I want that, then I'm like, cool, unmatch, go talk to the next person. So it's about saying the thing that you want and then asking, do you want that too? Or does that suit you? Or how are you feeling? And I've always just found that using my words is like a billion times easier than trying to like physically try and lead someone. And again, you can do that stuff if you want to. I just find it easier to talk. If I want to hold a girl's hand, I'll say, give me your hand, or can I hold your hand? Or I'll put my hand out and like look at her, and I'll go like this and she'll hold my hand. If I want to kiss her, I literally just say, you're so hot, can I kiss you? Or I might say, holy shit, you're so hot, I want to kiss you. And then I'll wait and see what she says. When I hit on a woman, I will say, hey, you're really cute. I wanted to say, hey, or God damn it, you're so hot. I wanted to come say hi. I'll leave space for her to then, like I'll literally not say anything for a couple of seconds and see her reaction. I'll leave space for her to give a reaction. Sometimes women will give a reaction where they're clearly not interested, and I will say, looks like you're not interested. Do you have a boyfriend or something? And they'll go, yeah, I'm not interested. And I'll go, beautiful. Have a nice day. If they are interested, I will say, are you single? That's me inviting them to tell me what they want or to tell me how they feel. If they say, no, I'm not single, I'll say, beautiful. I hope you and your boyfriend are happy together. Have a nice day. If she is single, then I will proceed from there. So I'm basically going first. I'm the one who's saying, I find you attractive, or I'm the one that's saying, can I kiss you? Or in the bedroom, I'm the one that says, do you want to try this kinky position? Or do you want to try this toy? Or do you want to have sex? Or do you want to do this? And then I'm allowing space for them to give their feedback, either a yes or a no or a maybe. So you can just use your words, say what you want. And I found that is like the easiest way of taking the lead. Because a lot of you guys put this pressure on yourself that you have to like do something to take the lead. Like you have to make the move, like I said, or you have to, physically escalate, or you have to do Kino and all of that. That shit just sounds like so much pressure. I'd rather just say, do you even want me to fucking make a move on you? Do you even want me to take the lead? And then if it's a yes, then great. I have a green light. I can proceed. It's so much easier if I just ask. Or I guess tell, like say, this is what I want. Do you want the same thing? And I guess maybe we could have put this at the start of the video. Why would you even want to take the lead? I mean, if you're listening to this, if you're a guy, you probably already want to take the lead to some extent. Like everybody likes the idea of being a little bit more assertive, even women. Like a big part of my, I guess, sex that I have with women, but more like my relationships and my BDSM and all of that. A big part of my dynamic is I like to mentor and sort of coach, I guess we would say, the women that I date. I like to guide them. I like to help them be more assertive. I have never met a woman in my entire life, even the most incredibly submissive women. I've never met a woman who doesn't want to be more assertive. And I don't think I've ever met a guy who doesn't want to be a little bit more assertive. And that's all this is. But in terms of like what the woman would get out of that, like why would you want to take the lead and be more, I don't want to say dominant, but I guess it almost is that, be more like masculine or assertive. What does she get out of that? It makes her feel safe enough to let go. If you take the lead, I mean, how many fucking women say, I wish a guy would take the lead more. I wish guys would say what they want more. I wish they'd be more upfront and honest. And so it's not about like dominating her and like being this like domineering guy who just does whatever he wants and doesn't give a fuck about her. No, it's about you going first, taking the lead, taking the initiative, being that masculine presence who says, this is what I want, and here's me being honest. And then you allow that space for her to say yes or no, or to give you more information. And that lets her feel safe and like she can let go because she can basically trust you. She's like, this guy has it. You know what I mean? He's got his shit together. I can let him guide me. I can let him sort of like look after me in a way, which is something that I'm just going to say like the vast majority of women want, or you might say the vast majority of like the more submissive partner wants, which is usually women. Sometimes it's men, but it's usually women. And yeah, I really want to make it clear that none of this is about just like barking orders at someone and being like, do this, do that, do this, do that. No, you're saying, I want you to do this, or do you want to do this? Or here's what I want. Do you want the same thing? And then when you get in the bedroom, yeah, sometimes you do just give a fucking order, but you're clearly allowing space for her to say, no, thank you, or I don't want this, or I'm not sure about that, or any of that sort of stuff. So it's not just like you doing everything you want. And we could have a big discussion here about like dominance and submission and how being a dominant, like taking the lead and going first, isn't just about you doing literally everything you want all the time and the submissive person has no say whatsoever. No. It's about you going first and then making sure your partner wants to be there and then allowing that space for them to say yes or no. And another point that I'll make is a lot of the time I hear from you guys that like the idea of taking the lead is obviously something you want. You want to be more assertive. You want to be a little bit more masculine, a little bit more dominant. But like, it's like you put all this pressure on yourself to like fucking mind read. Like you literally think that taking the lead means you have to know what she wants. You have to know what the right thing to do is. You have to know what the masculine thing to do is. And you have to just like fucking do it. And I don't know, hope for the best or hope that it goes well. Fuck no. Like I think you guys have this sort of misunderstanding, first of all, of what like taking the lead is, but maybe like a misunderstanding of like me and like, I don't know what you think my sexuality is like. Like I'm clearly, you know, a pretty dominant guy. Look at this cute little hat. It says daddy on it. I take the lead. I'm the dominant partner with basically every woman that I, you know, sleep with or play with. But I don't know what they want. I don't have some like fucking secret mind reading tool where I can just know what every single woman wants, especially if we're talking about a new partner or a partner that I've only slept with a couple of times. I don't know what the fuck is in her head. I don't know what she likes in the bedroom. I don't know what she wants. I don't know what type of sex she wants. I don't know what type of date she's happy to go on. I don't know what she wants to talk about. I don't know any of that stuff. How the fuck could I know that stuff? Yes, I've slept with a lot of women. I have dated a lot of women. I have played with a lot of women. I have talked to a lot of women, more than most of you. But how the hell could I know what is in each individual woman's mind? I don't. And so what I do is I take the lead, I say, here's what I want, or here's what I'm thinking, or would you like this? And then I get that feedback, or I ask questions. I say, what's on your sexual bucket list? What kind of stuff do you want to do? What kind of dating are you looking for? Or more to the point, here's what kind of dating I'm looking for. Does that suit you? What kind of dates have you had in the past? What is your history? What do you fucking desire? What things turn you on? What things don't turn you on? What are your hard limits? What are your soft limits? I ask questions. How can I possibly know what is in a woman's head until I ask her? This is like the number one question that I get from, you know, guys, and I'm sure women do the same thing. In fact, they do. But the number one question that I get from guys, especially in my coaching group, is like, hey, this girl texted me, blah, blah, blah. Here's a screenshot. Like, what does this mean? Or they'll say, hey, I'm seeing this girl and she said this, but then she did that. And then I'm getting mixed messages like, what do you think she wants? And every single time my answer is, how in the fuck am I supposed to know what she wants? How in the shit am I supposed to know what's in her head? I don't have a mind reading device. And if you put me in a room with her, the very first thing I would do, rather than try and read her mind or just make an assumption, the first thing I would do is I'd say, hey, what's in your head? Like, what do you want? Like, tell me what's in your head. What's on your mind? Like, I would say that, and then I would find out the truth. I think a lot of you put this pressure on yourself with leading and being masculine and even just dating in general. You think that it means you have to just like know everything and you have to be like an expert on women. Like, so many of you out there are trying to be a fucking expert on women. You're like, how can I become an expert on women? Do you think that I'm an expert on women? A bunch of you probably think that I am. No, I am literally the exact fucking opposite. And that might sound like a strange sentence from the guy who literally does sex and dating coaching, but I show up with every new woman that I meet. And even when I know her, so even like the 50th fucking date, the 50th time we slept together, even Emmy, my ex, 7 years into the relationship, I still try and show up as the student rather than the teacher, or the student rather than the expert. I am still asking questions and saying, how do you feel? What is going on? What's in your head? What do you want? How about this? Do you want that? Like, I'm asking questions, guys. I'm not trying to be the fucking expert. So many of you are obsessed with this game of trying to be the expert, trying to be the player, trying to be the alpha male, trying to be good at sex, trying to be good with women, trying to be good on dates. Women, fucking hell, ladies, you do the same shit with guys. You're like, I need to know everything I'm doing. I need to have fucking sick game and know what I'm doing. Fucking stop and actually use your damn words and say, what do you want? And that is a big part of being a natural leader. Like, again, a leader is not someone that just steamrolls over the top of everyone else and does whatever they want. That will quickly get you enemies and you will lose all your friends. And in the bedroom and with sex and dating, people will just think you're a fucking asshole. They'll think you're a dickhead if you just, or they'll think you're a psychopath. And you'll end up with the women or the people that maybe aren't as assertive or have lower self-esteem, or you'll end up with lots of drama because you're the person who just tries to steamroll over the top of everyone else. So a big part of leading is not being an expert. It's saying, I don't know. Can you please tell me more? And if you want the definitive book on leadership that talks about exactly what I'm talking about here, this book, it is called Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. And it is a book on how he talks about leadership, because he was a leader in the Navy SEALs and stuff. And he says leadership is not about just doing whatever the fuck you want. That will get you insubordination. That will get you sabotage. That will get you people leaving and hating you and thinking you're a dickhead. And that won't build an efficient, working team. The same thing in dating and sex and relationships. If you just steamroll over the top of everyone and do whatever the fuck you want, a lot of people will hate that. They'll leave. And the author of this book, by the way, this is him. You talk about like the most masculine, fucking hardcore looking dude ever. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. His face is built like a fucking tank. This is the guy who's saying, yeah, don't just steamroll over the top of people. Like, a big part of leading in relationships, in business, in the Navy SEALs and all of that is asking people questions like, how do you feel about this? Tell me what you're feeling. Let's talk about this some more. So yeah, leadership is not just about steamrolling over the top of the woman and being like, here's what we're going to do. You basically say what you want, you ask for some feedback, and then you go from there. And if we're talking in the bedroom, you can make this a fucking sexy thing. You can literally say what you want either before you meet, or, she's coming over to your house or something. You guys are going to have sex. Like, you already know you're going to have sex. Tell her the stuff that you want to do. Say like, as soon as you get here, I'm going to pin you against the wall and just absolutely ravage your body, and see her reaction. Or say, when you get here, I am just going to take you in every position known to man. Or you can even leave a little bit of mystery in it. You can say, as soon as you come over, I am going to do, like, this is my favorite thing to say. As soon as you come over, I am going to do fucked up shit to you that's illegal. Like, we are going to break every law known to man. And they're like, holy shit, like, what do you mean? And like, we're obviously not going to break every law known to man. Like, please don't break any laws, blah, blah, blah. But like, I love phrasing it like that. I'm like, I'm going to just absolutely do illegal shit to your body when you come over. And they're like, holy fuck, what does that mean? I'm like, you're just going to have to wait and see. Like, you're going to have to use your imagination. That's my other favorite question. You're going to have to use your imagination. You can also take the lead and invite the other person to tell you what they want to do. And so this is another question. In fact, I'm about to see a new woman that I haven't met before, but we've already been talking about BDSM and all of that. I'm about to see her a couple of days from now, although by the time this video comes out, I've probably already met up with her. And we're meeting up on this Sunday. And before we meet, I've said to her, I want you to write 3 things that you imagine me doing to you, whenever we get into the bedroom, whenever we explore BDSM. I want you to write me 3 things. And she wrote them out. There you go. That's me taking the lead, but she's also telling me what she wants. And so you can start to see how taking the lead doesn't just mean you do whatever the fuck you want and you don't give a shit what the other person wants. No, taking the lead is you initiating and inviting the other person to help make a decision with you. You're doing it together. You're not doing it to them. And again, that is this guy, Mr. Jocko Willink, this handsome fucking hunk of man meat here, who wrote this book. This is what he talks about. He's like, you got to invite these people over onto your team. You're all working together. And so same with women and men in dating. Invite her in. Say, what do you want to do? Here's what I want to do. Do you want that? You're basically taking the lead, but you're respecting the other person's autonomy. You're respecting their right to say yes or no. You're asking for their input so you can make a better decision. That is literally what a fucking leader does. They take the input from the team or from the other person, like from their partner, and they basically put it all together. So they put their own desires mixed with the other person's desires. They put that together in a nice melting pot. They give it a big old stir, and then they pull something out of that and say, here's what I think we want to do. Does that sound good to you? You ask for final confirmation. The other person says, hell yeah, that sounds amazing. Great. One final thing that I will say is confidence. Like taking the lead can require confidence, and that confidence is only going to come from repetition. Like confidence is a numbers game, like everything in life. You will only get confident by practicing taking the lead a bunch of times. The first few times you do it, you are going to fucking suck. That's okay. Give yourself permission to suck. You're probably going to fumble. You're probably going to feel awkward. You're going to feel weird. That's cool. You can be honest about that. You can say, hey, I don't have a lot of practice taking the lead, but I'm working on my assertiveness. I'm working on being more masculine. Are you happy to follow me while I'm trying to practice taking the lead? And the vast majority of women are going to say, hell yeah, daddy, please fucking take the lead. I would love that. It's cool if you're not perfect. Like, I just tell women when I don't know something. Like, if we're going to try something new in the bedroom that I've never done, or if I'm nervous before a date, or if I'm nervous during sex or something, which happens sometimes, I will just say that. I will straight up just say, I'm feeling a bit nervous today. Cool. Like, owning that shit is a big part of leadership and a big part of masculinity, because then she knows, oh shit, this guy's going to tell the truth. He's not going to pretend. And more to the point, you're allowing space for her to own up to her nervousness too, and for her to tell you, I feel a bit nervous too. So there you go. There's how to take the lead. And while we're talking about a video here on taking the lead, I'll tell you what I'm going to tell all of you. Ready? This is me taking the lead with all of you, you good little boys and you good little fucking girls. If this concept is something that's interesting to you, or if you want to work on your sex and dating life, I would like you, if you want to go down below and check out some of my coaching options. I have one-on-one calls with me. You can just jump on a single call, ask me your questions, fix up your dating life, fix up your sex life, work on your business, whatever it is you want help with. We can jump on a call there. I also have the big hardcore VIP coaching program where you work directly with me. And we have our affordable $200 a month, only $50 a week, coaching program called the Abundance Collective. I will leave a link in the description to all of those. I would love it if you went and checked one of those out. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go out there, crush those goals, take the lead, allow space for the other person to say yes or no, and for them to give their input as to what they want. I promise all of you are capable of taking the lead. Just take some baby steps. You don't have to become a natural fucking masculine leader immediately. Just work on being 1% more masculine or assertive or taking the lead every single week. It's just baby steps.